Greetings, folks, and welcome to Module 1, District Philosophy on Distance Education. This is Dan Frisella here. I am starting off in this Zoom setting to demonstrate a screencasting tool within Zoom. Essentially, you're starting a meeting on your own, hit record, and then I'm going to go screen share here, find the screen I want to share. There it is, and I'm going to hit present on my Google Slide tab, and here we are off and running on a screencast for y'all. So, District Philosophy on Distance Education. Thanks for jumping into Module 1. Away we go. So, our approach to distance education, when we got together this late spring, knowing that one possible scenario for school would be full distance education, also knowing that that is the one model that we could essentially plan for, knowing that that would be a potential, and in planning for this, we'd be prepared for other models as well. Basically, at that time, our approach was to look at our district mission and vision because we have a new one. We did some research and came to the conclusion that we needed a common course structure to make some improvements upon feedback that we had from the spring. And we set out to identify what are effective elements of distance education. So I'm going to walk through these kind of points here and give you a taste of what our philosophy here is. So I mentioned we have a new vision. It's a mission and vision statement that our board approved this January. This is the board doing some work here in J205 at Nevada Union. Some of the themes of that mission and vision were a district of choice, all students, college, career, life, quality educational opportunities, and success. So what those looked like were a vision of to become California's district of choice, preparing all students for success in college, career, and life, and a daily mission of providing quality educational opportunities for high school students in Western Nevada County. In addition to that, in our philosophical approach, we know that we've been leaning on really our focus of instruction has been professional learning communities, and we've been doing a lot of heavy lifting there. So we knew we wanted to lean on those principles. We wanted to lean on our essential learning outcomes and providing clear learning targets for students, along with assessments based on those learning outcomes and intervention based on the assessments. So some of the folks that guided our approach to distance education were people that are part of our district guiding coalition. This is that group last school year meeting in J204 back when we were allowed to be in the same place without a mask on and even touch each other. That group developed a mission to unify and empower staff with tools to collaboratively design and deliver a guaranteed and viable curriculum in an environment that values voice and choice and mastery of essential standards. And that group also has a mission to model and support the implementation of the professional learning community process with all NJU HSD staff. So with that, between our guiding coalition and our management team, we established a set of goals really based on feedback from our students and parents, as well as our teachers in the spring through surveys. Biggest challenge for folks was tracking 6 different classes and 6 different teachers through different communication platforms, through different structures of email and course structure, and things were coming out on a weekly basis or a bi-weekly basis or coming from Schoology or Google Classroom and whatnot. So really we set out with a goal to provide clarity, transparency, structure, and consistency across our classrooms. Obviously, we settled on Schoology Learning Management System as a singular platform for housing content and communication. Developing a common syllabus really was something that enabled us to target that consistency piece so that students and families could be accustomed to a singular place where they know they can find information about a course, about a teacher, about expectations and policies for particular classrooms. And we settled on an expectation of weekly assignments so that families could learn to count on that, and it would be more manageable for them in that way. So defining effective distance education, we set out and turned over a bunch of rocks to try to figure out what was out there and who's got it defined, and who had something clear that we could follow. But really what things amounted to in our investigation was that effective distance education is really just good teaching that's done from a distance. We do need to establish a presence online. similar to the way you would establish a physical structure to your classroom as well as your own classroom presence when you're delivering instruction. We needed to address issues of access, not just internet access, but access of content and how we deliver that to students, and have clear communication and clear policies with your students in the classroom. We also lean back on the principles of universal design for learning, which are finding ways to engage students and generate enthusiasm with them, representation of content in a variety of ways that help with accessibility and help students to engage with content, and then providing multiple means of action and expression, so options for students for how they demonstrate their mastery of certain skills. We generated a list of teacher expectations. This was mostly driven by management team, but however, this was agreed to and embedded in the MOU that we have a tentative agreement on. These kind of pretty much speak for themselves, but I'll walk through them real quick. All curriculum will be delivered through Schoology Learning Management System. All teachers will use the gradebook in Schoology and will update grades on a bi-weekly basis. Teachers will organize curriculum in folders with a delineated naming convention, whether that's by unit, by topic, or by the week. Either way, just making it clear. All teachers will utilize the district syllabus template for all courses. I already talked about the syllabus. Teachers will respond to email correspondence within 2 school days. A weekly overview of assignments will be posted in Schoology as an update, so people can know where to go to find that weekly overview of assignments. Instruction will be delivered asynchronously and synchronously, and the district will make every effort to provide accommodations for students with barriers to internet access. And teachers will provide no less than 1 hour of office hours per week for students to access teachers. I'd say for parents to access teachers as well, and we've got a schedule for that on Wednesdays. And if you're delivering instruction when students are attending class, whether that's virtually or in class in a hybrid model, lessons should be made available to your full distance students as well, or students that are not able to access online classes. So other strategies for us and structure, I would say, is required student attendance. We think this is going to help with engagement, give students a schedule, a routine, a reason to get out of bed in the morning. Letter grades, we know that's going to help with motivation as opposed to the pass, no pass policy. Addressing barriers, so access is going to be a big deal for us. Internet access, we're taking an individualized approach to that. We have ordered some hotspots that we will provide to families who hotspots will be able to help out. We're developing some remote hubs. We're prepared to go out into some corners of the county to provide some services out there, food services, internet services, possibly counseling and social emotional services. We intend to use thumb drives again for delivering content to students who have internet access challenges. And if all else fails, we will provide paper packets. We've got a mental health task force that's been working this summer, developing some surveys and putting a list of services together for students and for staff alike. Food services are going to happen again on a weekly basis. We're talking about some on-campus opportunities. There are a few proposals that have come our way from a few shop-related classes and performing arts classes. And then obviously staff development, here we are, and we've built out our training modules for you. So more about staff development. We've got Thursday, Friday of this week, as well as next week. We took an approach both with the Guiding Coalition and our management team to model the PLC practice of identifying boulders, rocks, and butterflies. So pretty much everything that you see in this staff development training, we've identified as boulders. Really, it's need to know stuff for us to have an online presence and deliver distance education. Obviously, we're delivering this through the Schoology Learning Management System. We thought it'd be best for us to model that for you guys and give you a little idea of what it's like to be on the receiving end of instruction. We've got the 6 modules built out for teachers. And then throughout the week, we're going to provide some online platform trainings. You guys all have this on the agenda, but these are the platforms that we've identified and we intend to provide you training on over the course of the next week and a half. For our students next week, Monday through Friday, it's kind of a soft opening of school, lots of time with student orientation. We went through a similar process of boulders, rocks, and butterflies for the students. We've got some training for them on how to use Schoology, how to use the Schoology app, some strategies for working at home, working in a distance education setting, some training on how to communicate with staff. Um, we're also going to do some admin welcomes, some counselor Zooms. We're going to talk interventions and support with them. ASB and leadership programs are going to have access to students. And we're also going to take care of some logistics like textbook and Chromebook distribution. And we're going to do some legwork around access. When we talked about an individualized approach, we realized we're going to have to make a lot of phone calls, survey going out this week, to address challenges that are out there, and we think it's going to be a lot of pounding the pavement by telephone, if that makes sense, reaching out to individuals and assessing their situation on an individual basis. So bell schedules, and I apologize in advance for our alternative schools. This is up. Comprehensive sites, bell schedules are up here. You guys have all seen this and had a taste of it. We have built into the end of the day some distance education time, and I'll talk about that here in just a second, where the math comes in. But essentially, students are accessing 3 classes a day at the comprehensives, and those are like a rotating block, periods 1 through 3 Monday, 4, 5, 6 on Tuesday, and same thing for Thursday and Friday, with Wednesdays as full distance education days. So a little bit of math on instructional minutes. We're required to provide 240 minutes a day of instruction. Skipping over my first line here, I should talk that first, just a statement. Our teaching staff should plan on 80 minutes per class per week for instruction outside of student attendance times. That does not have to include homework. And so these lines here are going to explain how we got to that 80-minute mark. Basically, there's a minimum number of instructional minutes for the comprehensive high schools, and that's 240 minutes a day. Across 5 days a week, that's 240 times 5, which equals 1,200 minutes. Divided among 6 student classes, it looks like 200 minutes per week per class, or per class per week, however you want to say it. If there's 3 class Zoom sessions a day, 4 days a week, that's 720 minutes a week, which leaves a remaining balance of 480 minutes of instruction that needs to be provided via distance education each week. 60 minutes a day is scheduled in the afternoons, that Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, for 240 of those 480 minutes, and the remaining 240 is scheduled for Wednesdays. So that's how we're going to meet, make our auditors happy with adequate number of instructional minutes per week. So if you have questions about that, you can revisit this slide. And like I said, I apologize to the alternative schools. I haven't crunched the numbers for them. They haven't, or Silver Springs, I guess, has a 180-minute requirement. But Marty and Scott, I'm sure, are going to jump on that sometime soon here and share that out with you staff. Wednesdays look like for teacher staff meeting, department collaboration time, scheduled office hours, and then time to manage distance education content, develop content, and also I'm sure there's lots of correspondence that's going to be taking place. And like I said, for students, it's distance education day, so they can bank on 4 hours of work that day, however that plays out. And then, of course, they'll have access to office hours during that time. Go forth in your important work. We had some creative ideas when I reached out to our principals to hear what's happening with the performing arts and other shop-based classes. It looks like good things are happening. I know everybody's wheels have been turning all summer. I know you guys are working really hard. I know people are eager to get back in the classroom with students, but I know you're also working hard to access them right where they are and from where you are. So thank you for your diligent work. I hope you got a little bit of understanding of our approach to distance education. Good luck to you this week and next with training and developing those skills that you're going to need. I know it's a crash course. I know for some of you it's a lot more than others, but we're here to support you. So please reach out, take advantage of those drop-in times with Jason Skinner, and enjoy the rest of your training. Cheers. Back to Zoom. Where's my stop button? Bam.